everyone, welcome to The Global Gaze, where we talk art, film, and books by and for the global majority. So if you're interested in storytelling and creativity coming out of Africa, Asia, and more, then you're in the right place. I'm your host, SarahJilani. I'm an academic based in London who teaches post-colonial literatures and a freelance arts writer. Today we're asking, why can public art sometimes be so controversial? Artistic responses to history aren't just inside museums. They're always in public space, too. But how often do we really stop to ask, what exactly is this trying to help me remember? This marker, near the Tallahatchie River in Mississippi, marks the place where 14-year-old Emmett Till's body was found in 1955. The sign was the third of its kind to be erected. The first was actually stolen in 2008. Its replacement was vandalized with more than 100 rounds of bullets over the next few years. The third lasted a month before it was also shot at. The damage itself tells a story, not just of past violence, but also resistance in the present to confronting it. Public art that speaks to history is never neutral, nor are they just about the past. They reflect something about the present, what we choose to remember, what we choose to forget. Do these kinds of public art and commemorative objects actually do what they're meant to? Well, what they choose to reveal and withhold is deeply implicated in the construction of national and regional identities. Professor Dave Tell, who was the lead researcher of the Emmett Till Memory Project, argues that the three vandalized signs should be put in museums. They convey the truth more completely by refusing us the comfort of believing that racism is a thing of the past in the United States. So it's important for there to be public art and heritage objects that help us remember, but it's even more revealing to know that the sign is constantly attacked. How something is remembered depends on the conditions and the power relations in a given place. Public art that commemorates history can provide a valuable field for public debate, but it doesn't always survive the weight of this task. The bicentenary of the abolition of the slave trade back in 2007 saw an explosion of arts and heritage activity here in the UK. There were some events that were done really well, like the Dockland Museum's exhibition called London, Sugar and Slavery. It was free, and it helped us see how quintessentially English activities like drinking tea actually tell of colonial histories, such as the coming of tea to the UK through China via the Opium Wars, and the coming of sugar as well through Caribbean plantation slavery. The very mixed reaction, for instance, to the proposal of a London-based slavery museum back in 2019 showed that while many are not even convinced of the need to remember. Either way, the contemporary reception to such proposals can be more revealing than the proposed projects themselves. Rhodes Must Fall, for example, was a movement that began on the 9th of March in 2015 at the University of Cape Town. Originally a protest against an increase in student fees, it soon led to a wider movement. The movement used the statue of Cecil Rhodes, which stood in the middle of their campus, as a symbolic vehicle. Rhodes was an ardent imperialist and a mining magnate who named what is modern-day Zimbabwe, Rhodesia, after himself. This object, which we can call a piece of public art, became a symbol of the financial inaccessibility of education in South Africa today, along racial lines that haven't changed enough since the days of Cecil Rhodes. The politics of public art reveals the continuities between the historical and the contemporary locations of power. In other words, it can expose what hasn't changed enough. The purpose of public art is not to stage a reckoning, nor a defense. Yes, it can bring to light hidden histories, but the end point isn't to make some people feel guilty and some people forever victims. It's to use this reveal to point to where contemporary legacies of these historical events may lie. Because that's the bit that matters. That's the bit that we can all do something about today. Impactful public art creates new conditions in the present. In 2019, a series of events marked the 25th anniversary of the Rwandan genocide. Some commemorative events were symbolically powerful, like the mass candlelight night vigil that brought people together at Amahoro Stadium in Kigali, Rwanda. In the 1980s and 90s, Cherokee Nation citizens and leaders together designed a commemoration of the removal, the forced relocation between 1836 and 1839 of the Cherokee Nation. They called it the Trail of Tears National Historic Trail. But what's interesting is that coming together and making the trail actually created a politics for Indigenous issues today. The discussions had weren't just about how to heal the wounds of the past and how to represent them in a way that helps people remember, but it was also about how to best serve Cherokee people today. Historical honesty is hard. Emotions can run high, and the stakes can seem personal. But done effectively, public art may cause discomfort not because it intends to, but because of the critical thinking that it generates. The most effective public art, especially if it's of a commemorative nature, helps us look beyond what has been destroyed beyond the point of repair. It helps us clearly see the present we can still shape. Thank you for watching The Global Gaze. If you've enjoyed this deep dive, give the video a like and leave us a comment below. What do you think? And before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, keep your gaze global.